Okay.
Simple as that for me. Like, good enough. If you got a couple of games on it in the past like 8 days, sure, it's pickable.
Well, cool stuff. A little tip from XXS right at the start onto.
I mean, he must have said something funny over comms, right? Something that we can't hear.
Well, even if we could hear it, I don't know if we would have been able to translate it too well. But
Google Translate.
There it is.
Oh, he misskilled. That's why they tipped him. He has aftershock level 1. He has aftershock level 1. That's why he got tipped. He's playing in a really bad matchup, and this just makes it worse.
No!
This spell is literally worthless without your first or second or third spell.
All right, we got to get some stats later about the first time
that
the first time that you've ever seen aftershock taken level 1 in a professional game. It might be the only time that's ever happened.
There's a lot of misclicks in this series, so I guess it's even, right?
Yeah, maybe he's like, you know what, I'll just give him one. You know, this is a much less egregious.
I mean, I think Dota players in general are just not, their brains don't work very well in the morning, right? Like, they don't like playing these morning matches. And stuff like this just kind of happens.
Well,
and it is early. I say quote unquote it's early, but it's like it's almost noon, afternoon. But
yeah,
for gamers that's early. Anyway, he's level 2 now. Not the biggest deal in the world. As a mid laner, you get level 2 much faster than you would as a side laner. So it was funny, but you know the joke's over now. He's level 2. He would have skilled that anyway.
Right? No, absolutely. And
he's still 5-1 too, so like it's almost like nothing.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of changes to Necrophos over a long period of time, where he, got like his animations a little bit better, cast animations and things like that. I think that was a couple of patches ago, but his base damage still isn't that great as a ranged hero, and that's something that Shaker's probably going to be able to take advantage of, as you said, until the levels start to stack up a bit.
Yeah. Beautiful denies there from Dark Mago here. Already with that bracer online. He's going to just start playing more into the face as he can, but he also does need that. He needs to be able to spam him out, and Ekstrom, I think, is actually a really good job of harassing him here as well.
My friend. That's what you want to see. Definitely, if they can. Well, and so far, Azure looking particularly good down in this bottom lane, where they've been able to go 10-2 versus Oscar is just 6-1. Does have another wave that's coming into him right now at the very least, so maybe that's going to pick it back up once the wave gets cleared out a bit.
Yeah, there is a pool coming out at the same time though with the Phoenix. It'll help him out, so the lane won't get stuck there, which is definitely really good news if you are playing this Lone Druid here. Worst thing to happen is have your wave just sit there in front of the enemy tier 1 and your boss 5 is AFK or failing to deorder pool or something. That's when I get mad.
The laning stage last game was the type of thing that ended up really determining stuff, and particularly the Luna's lane. In this game, what do you think is going to be the most important thing for us to watch for? Is there any lane that has to go well for either team, or that might be a stomp out?
I think the mid lane is going to be pretty important to look at, just because can the Shaker just be able to sustain the lane? And I think more than anything, it's going to be support rotations around that 6-minute mark.
Okay.
Because, yeah, Lone Druid's going to win his lane just by default because he's playing Lone Druid. That's what the hero does. Outside of that, like, I don't expect the Blue to punish this lane as hard as they did. And Jin-Q actually might be in a bit of trouble.
And the TP in, too, from Knight. They set up for it. Jin-Q falling low and going down. Knight, and just to pick up that first blood. Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting thing also, this global potential, and having a Centaur that, well, you said is going to be, not winning his lane because of the Lone Druid, maybe can survive here, at least for a while.
And he will do bottle refill for mid, so even though giving first blood away is not the greatest, that bottle refill is pretty critical for XM here. As he is laning versus a Necrophos, a very obnoxious laner. And oftentimes you just run out of regen, right? When you lane against a Necro, because he just whittles you down. Having that extra bottle allow him to get probably just an additional wave or two that he otherwise may have had to walk back to base for. These small things do add up quite a lot.
Making sure that he can still get something out of this. And maybe with that next rotation in from somebody else, he can try and make a play with level 6s that are going to come around. Does get glyphed on him there with that enchant totem round, so it doesn't get the freebies that he wants. And scary stuff, particularly as Mago gets closer to 6.
Yeah, he might be able to stay for one more wave with the wand and the fairy fire, or he might just go back. Ooh. He's going to play it a bit safe here. I guess if NP TP's in.
They're trying to set up, and they find Lumiere. Going to glyph this wave as they head up to the north.
Brambles
Lumiere.
Missed.
A lot of pressure was put on him in the last one. Does he have his way to get himself out? They get the sprout, the damage over time. Lumiere goes down. Success, though, getting hit a few more punches. Slow down with the blood grenade, but they don't have enough for him. Tianming turns onto Panda, won't be able to get the kill. So in the end, it's a 1-for-1 exchange. Azure bringing enough to get that kill onto the spec.
Yeah, an absolute bloodbath. It's like several grenades were thrown in that. 4 grenades were thrown, by the way, blood grenades in that engagement.
Whoa. And he comes back and just gets a freebie. Lumiere takes down Zinky. What's he doing?
Did he use his Shadow Realm was on cooldown.
Oh.
Just probably securing a creep with a Shadow Realm, and then Knight realizing that there's an opening available there. And as we see this game compared to last game, Knight is playing a hero that he's platinum tier on and is meta as a support compared to the Necrophos, and we're already seeing a night and day, no pun intended there, actually, difference between like the two performances.
Yeah, this is getting a player hero comfort online critical in these big matches. There was a rotation over Phoenix, taking away that shield rune from Mago, and that stops him from being able to make any play with the Reaper Scythe. XM is just now gotten level 6. Does not have a point in Fissure, but will be able to make an Echo Slam play if the opportunity arises.
This is why we often don't see like mid laners last picking. I mean, we are kind of seeing it a bit, but it kind of feels like last pick just it's been so underwhelming for the longest time now. It's like this is a bad matchup for Shaker, but I think oftentimes you want your mid to be counterpicked in the as opposed to the other lanes, because if you look at the Luna last game, if things go bad, they get really bad on the side lanes. But if you're a good mid laner, you can kind of like manage almost any matchup with the help of supports. And we're seeing that here. Like this Shaker, like, yeah, this is a bad lane matchup, but with support helping with his auto refills, he's managing to go even in this lane.
Right. That's really important. And now, too, when other lanes start to go better, it means that any type of help that could come over from the side of Wawitas is not going to come out there. And instead, they're going to have to head up to the top side. Lumiere heading over this direction, wants to get close enough for some save, but actually, he's left alone. They will go in for the Reaper Scythe kill onto Xingqiu, but the Bruise Split is enough for XXS to take down Lumiere again.
The sprout. Nice
he
try.
bites his way through.
Yeah, he would have to block the path off entirely if they wanted to go for that. Even then, probably still wouldn't have got the kill. Little do you think.
Invis XM.
Yeah, he has Tread. Tread's available, level 7. Max Totem here. Invisibility. This could be an opportunity if he pushes the lane out to potentially get a kill somewhere on the side lanes. I think Centaur for sure, given his HP and itemization, could die.
They're thinking about it, wanting to go on to Mago. Echo Slam down. 1, 2. Is it going to be enough, though? Trying to kill him off. Doc Mago is going to die. Stampede came too late.
I mean, I feel like the Sprout kind of did not help him very much. As the Necro couldn't get out of the Sprout as he didn't buy a Quelling Blade, right? And they used the Stampede, but he was blocked by his own Sprout there. A little bit of unfortunate situation, because I think with the Stampede, he was good.
One is not what they want to see in the least bit. And all lanes right now being won by the Radiant.
Well, it's a reverse of last game, and the team that won all the lanes from game number 1 lost the game, so
That's true. That's a good
that's
point.
that's good news.
Well, we'll see how it goes. It is a little bit of a different lineup this time for Azure. And having this Lone Druid, I feel like, is going to create some pretty significant problems now. But we'll see.
I mean, last time we saw Low play this Lone Druid was very impressive. I feel like he has a good understanding for this hero. There's some players I see play certain heroes, and I'm just like, I'm not so sure about that one, Chief, until I see it once in action. But in Lone Druid, as you mentioned yourself, not something a lot of people do play.
Right.
So, Oscar on the bot lane here. It's like root into potentially one more root and goes down. Beating Gen Q another kill here. But then again,
Right. Chance. They move in. Reaper's Scythe comes out in time, and it will be enough for the finish. Mago getting a lot of regen from that kill and decides, I'm going to walk back in even closer. Move forward onto Tianming. They get the Bruce split off. That should be enough to bring down the Mago Necrophos most likely.
He's pretty fast.
Be back up again soon? Yeah, I guess those boots of travel, but yeah, they turn back in with the Phoenix.
Oh!
Never mind, Stampede keeping him alive just barely, and he's gonna end out for the Bruce split. He's gone. Unbelievable.
Movement speed is your friend. Honestly, the Windlace saved his life there. Boots of travel, Windlace, and of course, Stampede too. Like, that was a given, but all those little things, juking around the trees. He didn't even have a point in Ghost Shroud. Even if he wanted to like use that to get some HP, and you do have this spell available, of course, by the crew, but that wasn't even available. He just walks that one off. So pretty big win there for Wawitas.
And this time too spent is giving Lumiere some good farming potential. Already has the urn done, so opting for that route and queuing up the Blade Mail next. We talked about the global potential. That feels like it could be something pretty relevant once Oscar gets this Blink Dagger online, whether it's Knight throwing out the Wrath of Nature, you've got the Ice Blast, or that Shadow Step. People are going to have to be careful on these side lanes of getting ganked.
Almost definitely. I think this level 6 on AA that was just achieved now opens up a condition where you can potentially gank this Lone Druid.
Right.
Like, if you get Shadow Step and an Ice Blast on low, he only has 1,000 HP. He has not opted to get a point in his ultimate quite yet, but he does have Diffusal Blade ready. If you get all those spells on him, he will die like in an instant.
Right.
This hero needs to rely on like the 65% lifesteal, which is obviously like pretty absurd to survive. He needs his ultimate, which he was saving a point. He just decided to get it right now, but it's probably won't be enough if you can burst him quick enough, because the transformation time is pretty relevant here. It's like 2 seconds. It's a long time to stay alive against like a lot of spells. Dark Mago, he's holding the bear.
Okay, that works. That works, and he gets the regen from it. All right, big plays.
Wait, you get a stack. I didn't know that.
Now.
Okay. I mean, the thing is, like, Spear doesn't work on it, but Reaper Scythe works on it.
This is what I'm saying. This is why Spear should work on it. It's so dumb.
It really should. By Spear, we're talking about Mars' Spear. That was happening in yesterday's game, where Lone Druid was bullying.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Oscar.
Yeah, he is in some
One
trouble
more root,
now.
and he's dead. Yeah, he's dead.
There it is. They got him. Just punched and pummeled and brought down. Well, they managed to take the tier 1 tower in the mid lane, even though they get the bear kill. And now the big gank moving forward, finding themselves Knight. That's an easy kill. Dark Mago's the next one up, needs to be wary. He doesn't have an easy way out of this one either. And in fact, with nobody nearby, he is going to get chased and brought down by this gank squad. Blink Dagger on XM means no way out.
Phase of your journey is at an end.
The game is going to start to look a little more scary now with this Blink Dagger on XM. Sure, it was a cute little play. They killed the bear at the Reaper Scythe. But at the end of the day, that was still just like a defensive play that saved his life.
Right.
And that's all it really came down to. Moving forward now, you're playing versus Brewmaster, who's going to completely remove Ghost Shroud. If you have 2 bears available from low, it's not going to work again. So when are you going to be able to use this Ice Blast and kill Lone Druid?
Right here,
I feel
I
like that is what you really need to do.
They're looking for that right now. He's going to show for a second, jump forward, stomp, Ice Blast, Shadow
There it
Step,
is.
gone.
That's what they needed.
You asked for it, they get it, and now having another round of Reaper Sight. This is going to be more stacks for Dark Mago. So, you know, much needed, like you said.
Yep. As mentioned before, this Ice Blast destroys Lone Druid. Maybe in the past, you get your true form off, you heal, right? But against AA, you're not getting that bonus heal, and on top of it, you're not getting any life steal. It's a rough one. You got to like be true formed. You got to be in true form before the Ice Blast is heal. One of the more annoying matchups, I would say, for your boy Lone Druid.
And I will say that the way that Wawitas has been playing this, I'm not sensing that same sense of like urgency that they had in the last game. Do you think that that's a mistake, or do you think that's okay? Them kind of like chilling a little bit, not trying to make like as fast of moves, taking a couple of them and instead focusing on farming more. Is that okay in this type of a game?
It's definitely a lot better in this game than the previous game. I don't think it's okay to just like be completely AFK. I think you want to make this Lone Druid feel like he can't go anywhere on the map because AA is going to kill him.
Right.
And if you manage to kill Lone Druid a couple times, this hero will fall off really quickly. So I don't want them to be completely AFK because Oscar has Blink Dagger Rush. If you look at the Centaur, anyway, there's going to be a Smoking Contempt here. Oscar needs to make some kills happen. Otherwise, he's going to be like the Tiny of last game.
They do have Deathseeker done on Necro, so a way to dodge some of these fights. But XM, Smoke is going to break. Echo Slam only onto Oscar. They decide to throw out the Ice Blast onto XM. Control is there, bringing him low, but they back out, and still it's enough to get the kill. X-Egg is down. The Bruise Split is going to wear out, and they're actually stuck in that Sprout. Bruise Split running low, but it looks like they're not going to chase. I'm looking also, whenever I'm doing this, like in casting, I'm trying to read like the player names sometimes as like an indication of the team. And it's like Beast Coast, EG, Thunder, Corey. It's like they're just from all over.
Yeah, no, this is an attempt from South American teams, just like a lot of reshuffling, right? To try and make the new superstar team. It's definitely not a subtle change. This is like a completely brand new roster.
Yeah, it's funny to look because every one of them is a different team. Mad Kings too for Oscar.
Oh, Knight.
Chance. Yeah, he's gone.
Later.
Up top though, they're looking for Lul. They move in with Oscar, find him, and Reaper Sight dead.
Big
huge kills.
Yep, big kill. These kills that they're getting on low are absolutely massive, and I do want to give a quick shout out as well to Knight, not just for that death right there because that'd be pretty BM, but I was talking like the Sprout that caught the pandas, right? It allowed them to just not be able to chase forward, and your pandas can't get out of the Sprout. They don't have a Quelling Blade, and you cannot give them a Quelling Blade, so they're just kind of stuck there. So if Knight continuously does that, that's gonna be super annoying.
Very frustrating to try and play against. Lumiere takes out a 3-stack of Ancients here and has the Relic completed, getting closer to that Radiance timing. Not bad at all, considering there's the Urn and the Blade Mail on top of it. We'll have to see how quickly they're able to make moves once that's online, but this is definitely a lineup that starts to scale quite well into the late game. And, I mean, from your point of view, you've had a ton of matches on Lone Druid. Does this become better later on? The Ice Blast and the Necrophos, like, can he itemize to deal with this, or is there a solution for Lone Druid?
No, not really.
Yeah,
none that I know of. Like, you might have to go for like some Aeon Disc or something, but that's like a band-aid fix the ultimate problem. Like, you oftentimes on this hero cannot build defensive items because the moment you build defensive items, you no longer have offensive items.
Right.
And if you don't have any offensive items, you're not killing anyone. And at that point, I mean, basically for Lone Druid, offensive items are his defense, right? Because the more damage your bear does, the more you heal. So there's no way of getting around the Ice Blast. It's just going to be your team has to save you with Glimmers, Force Staffs, these type of things. But his itemization won't really change, but his teammates might have to change. But I don't know if that is particularly going to happen, as we do have a Midas picked up. for Shin Q. Obviously, he wants to scale. He doesn't care about his team so much, and Phoenix also has a Midas queued up.
Lumiere caught and drop everything to take down that Spectre. Another core kill.
But then again, it might just be one of those games where Low is just kind of like the distraction, right? He just eats all the ultimates. If you use Spectre Haunt, if you use Necro ulti, and you go ahead and use Ice Blast as well just to kill one hero, that's 3 big ultimates. And if you are scaling really heavily on your Brewmaster, Phoenix, Willow, all these other heroes, maybe him just dying in the fights and tanking all the abilities will be good enough.
That's fair. Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, that Midas, 3 of them online in this game. That's that's Dota, baby. We're doing it. And we've seen XM make some really clutch catches over the last couple minutes. He's 4-2-2. He's almost completed the BKB also, which is sort of that nice little blockade against all the burst that's coming out from the side of Wawitas.
That's going to be a big one. I think once he gets that BKB, he can pretty much do whatever he wants in these team fights, right? And it's really just going to come down to Low. He needs to be pre-true formed, and I think he just can't go in person. I think he just has to come in a little bit later.
Right.
Maybe he'll consider at some point picking up Magnum Scepter on his bear. That way, as far as I can see, that might actually be your best approach in this game. That way you never have to show your hero.
Okay.
And your bear can just like move freely in the fights.
It'll be interesting to see if that's the option he goes for. For now, at least, the other thing that we're seeing is the AFK Farm Fest. We've got AA, it's Panda, opting to pick up a Midas here in just a few minutes. You've got 2 components of the Aghanim Scepter for Knight on the Nature's Prophet. Which isn't an Aghanim Scepter, but does sort of feel like it gives some really good fighting potential. And this hero just farms so much anyways, it almost doesn't matter.
Yeah, interesting enough, he went Atos over Ags as his first item, right?
Yeah.
Which his Ags is pretty much like an AoE Atos, but I suppose it does have a bit of a longer cooldown. He's going to have a lot of roots when he finishes the Ags with Atos, so at that point in the game, it's going to be Root City, but it's going to be Gank City right now as AR is on the prowl.
Scanning. Panda.
Oh, there's a counter slope too.
Yeah, they're in an interesting position. They have a ward on Panda, and they're showing Lul in the lane. So this might be a move to try and catch him. Mago will pick up the shield rune, and they'll see the Necrophos courier heading over also. So now they have an idea of where some of these heroes are at least. And it looks like they're just going to end up dispersing.
To the Roche pit. So here's the funny thing. If they Ice Blast the Roche pit, and Low is like half HP from getting hit by Roche, right?
Yeah.
And NP ult at the same time and Spectre Haunts, he could actually unironically die.
Yeah, particularly with Radiance online. But
it looks like they have no idea.
Yeah, they don't realize what's going on, or they don't want to go and contest it, which is fine too. So Roche, it's going to be claimed. Azure get a nice little boost into their strength at this point, while their supports on the side of Wawitas are just trying to farm up.
Now it's time to go with Lone Druid. This is one of the defense mechanisms we talked about. Is there anything that can save him? I guess Aegis, something I didn't talk about.
Right.
This item definitely will save you from this burst. And it comes down to, you can actually do a lot of damage with this Aegis. You can do tons of structural damage and just game damage in general if you use this correctly, because this uniquely puts Low in a position where he otherwise wouldn't be able to be in, and that's play on the front line.
Right.
And only Aegis is going to allow him to do this. So if they play their cards right, they could use this Aegis to do a lot on the map here.
One thing that is going to be worth watching is like how much, I mean, the structural damage versus team fight potential of Azure, because while they do have obviously Dark Willow, they have Phoenix that do a massive amount of damage out of their supports. Core wise, it's sort of a weird one, right? Like you've got this Earthshaker, which has a cap.
Knight too.
Oh,
you're right. Oh,
TP's out.
I don't know if he had vision there, but yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's close. This is one of those couple of minutes here where if they get a quick kill, it's going to be buildings down. But XM gets brought down instead. Yeah, that's pretty rough. They find Lul too. Get the lift up onto the bear. It does have a harpoon ready, but I think this guy's going down. So they take down that bear, and the bear does not have an Aegis. Just kill the bear a couple times. Let Lul have the Aegis. Who cares?
I was wondering if he was gonna Reaper the bear just for another stack, you know, region.
Yeah, right.
I don't even know if it's that bad. It's just like these infinite stacks, because he's already going for the builds, right? Where you get the Aghanim Scepter and the heart, and you just want mass region. Maybe it's something he thinks about in the future here. But the more I look at this game, the more scared I am for Azure if they don't do something really big with this Aegis. Because this Necro is pretty large, and Spectre almost has a Manta with the Radiant.
Ooh.
Now, Necro maybe took a little bit too soon here.
Deathseeker back up in 3. He can try and get away from there for a second. No, not going to happen. Dark Mago just too far out.
That's punished. A big death, yeah. You're going to lose your tier 2 off of that one there. And you got to be careful of this glyph, because you won't have a glyph for the high ground if you use it on this low ground here.
Yeah, I think they just let this one go, probably. There's also a catapult, too. Man, the timing of this is actually perfect.
They're going.
They could kill the bear if they wanted to. That might be the best bet, actually, as weird as that is, because he's not going to have a resummon, but
27 seconds. It's coming up soonish.
Yeah, that's true. And then it just doesn't feel worth it at that point. Reapers is going to be back up again, too. That is going to be a tier 3 tower. Very, very low. Jumps forward, finds the bear for a moment, gets some damage onto it, and that tier 3 tower still surviving just barely.
Nice pun there. Just barely.
Oh, yeah. Okay. God. Holy moly.
Holy moly. I mean, good damage nonetheless, but I think that'll be the end of the Aegis, right? So now that the Aegis is down, you can have potentials here to go out on the map, especially when you do have this Manta completed here. And if you can find Low at that point and kill him, you won't have to worry about the push anymore, right? So I think there's a lot of eyes on Low here and his positioning in this game.
Panda. It's found. XM there. Yule Scepter to lift up and trying to walk away. Hit a Bramble. Feels bad. Feels bad. But wait a minute. Knight, he went in too. Okay. BKB now for the turnaround. They're running in one by one and gets caught with a root. Oh, that is not the way the
He's going to find him the Cyclone. They got the Necro.
They get him. He does have a Yule Scepter when he comes down. Also, Deathseeker at the ready. The Void.
He's gone.
Pulls him back in.
They're gone.
Oh, man. Deathseeker not enough range. Wait, they go in now with the Spectre, too? Yo. What is happening? Spectre is now also caught, fully surrounded. What an utter and complete collapse.
Yeah. I said Low had to be careful this game to not get caught, but unfortunately, we took off guard here. They're gonna lose potentially a couple sets of barracks here. We'll have to see if they can hold it with these heroes alone, as on the outside, Knight potentially might die to Xingqiu.
Oh, no.
He's gone.
All right, Xingqiu
And so
gets
is your
back
melee.
killed. They're also, chasing down on the other side as Xingqiu finishes them off. They're getting a full set of racks. Gonna stomp forward, bringing in the Necrophos. They want to find and get a kill.
They'll get the bear.
Reaper it. Oh,
nope.
no!
Not happening.
The nullifier already used. What was that? Oh, it was just the dispel naturally.
Yeah, Savage Roar takes off Yules from your bear.
Oof.
Very annoying. I mean, he had to Reaper it right away instead of Yules if he wanted to kill it. I think they still would have got it, but I don't think he wanted to use Reaper. That's why he healed it, hoping another set of stuns would come out.
And I just think again about like this all started from Panda getting picked off in the mid lane. Like, just let your Ancient Apparition die. It hurts.
Yeah. It's a save your buddy syndrome. We talk about it all the time, and it's a very thin line. It's like sometimes if you can make it work, it's fine. But if you mess it up just a little bit and your default is always let people die, that doesn't usually make people happy, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So like it's an art to know when to let people die as a team as opposed to saving them. I don't think it's that bad to have like an ultimatum, be like, it's fine. As a default, I think you should let people die that are out of position. But sometimes it's hard to make that call. And it was hard in that position for Wawitas to make that call. Unfortunately, that led into an absolute team wipe as players trickled in. It's just
And I mean, you know, you look back before that moment, it was, you know, starting to trend Azure Ray's way, but now it's just turned into a stomp. 14,000 gold lead. Granted, they have great heroes to like take a fight and to get that one pick off, but it feels like they need more than one kill.
They need Oscar right now with this blink initiation. And it misses.
Yeah,
and they lose Panda too.
He's just gone. It happens too quick. Oh man.
These are the moments that like where Oscar has to be smoked and has to find the Lone Druid and burst him. If they can do that, there is a chance to win the fights. However, it's easier said than done, obviously, at this point in the game, because when this next Roshan does come online, which we're looking at 10 seconds from now, on the Radiant side that is completely secured with your AA dead, it's not going to be easy. Let's put it that way. I think they're going to have to make some big plays here. You're going to have to find a smoke. Does anyone have a smoke on them whatsoever? They do not. Do they have any in their shop?
Oh, they go check right now too. Tianming sees that Roche is up, and that's probably going to signal for everybody to come on in. Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing any smoke move as of yet.
They're going to have to definitely, at this point of the game, just make that big play. Shoot an Ice Blast in there. Hopefully, Centaur can find a way in a smoke to get there. And then you just use your globals, right? At that point in the game. Just go for it. Because if this Lone Druid picks up this Aegis here, your only other chance is to defend high ground with buybacks. Because you know for a fact, they're going high ground. You've got no tier 3 in your base. They're going to go straight for your barracks here, and you're going to have to make some type of play to make the fort. Otherwise, you're just losing another set of barracks.
Yeah, they don't have the Ice Blast thrown out. They don't have the vision down, and it is going to be Azure Ray ready to walk down this lane with Lul having the Aegis in hand. And now a lot of questions.
Yeah, Ags was just picked up on Necro, so here's a good thing about the item, right? It gives him a lot more damage.
Right.
Here's the bad thing. He has no buyback now for this push. So if he dies, this is really all in. The only buybacks that are going to be available for this one is going to just be Spectre and NP. Nobody else has buyback. It's kind of an all-in play here by the Necro to not have buyback for this one, but maybe the Ags is justifiable with the bonus damage you are going to get from it. You're going to get 55% additional based on your region, so that is quite relevant.
Right. Also, just now getting level 20 on both him and the Spectre.
Like, Lowe's alone here.
Yeah, that's true.
He's actually just alone.
He does not appear to care all that much at all.
Disperse around the bear. Another Dispel, by the way.
God, so strong. Yeah,
I mean Brewmaster is not... what's going on here? Lowe is just like...
They don't care.
Lowe is just taking the barracks solo.
Yeah, he's taking now the Tormentor too. Apparently is not concerned.
Oh, and AC just completed for XXS. I think they really wanted it.
Yeah.
Now he's TPing to mid lane, and the creep instantly gets deleted. So Lowe has now... Not Lowe, XXS has to walk there.
They're still going to sit comfortably here.
What's even happening right now? I'm so confused.
They're not concerned. He's in true form, 3,300 HP. But finally, XXS is going to catch up. And now with AC and Radiance, he's in position. Who can Oscar find? God, nobody is easy to kill. There's not a hero.
They can kill Brew. They can kill Brew. They definitely can kill Brew.
Go for him. Nope. Nope.
Void stance. Yeah,
Void stance too good. And there it is. The jump in comes from everybody. That is dead Luminaire. The egg is down. They destroy Panda. Reaper Sight is not going to do nearly enough.
It's like, all right, I
keep
gave
him
it
alive. And GG is called. A 2-0 Azure coming into day 2. Looking quite good.
I mean, they came in at day 1 looking pretty good too here. Maybe Azure is just good.
There's a chance.
Yeah, there's a chance. I mean, they're definitely good. They're beating like top teams across the world. So